Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. I am joined here by my friend Weedy. Also, I apologize in advance. These lights have a mind of their own. They come with a remote control. You're supposed to be able to like pick the setting that they will flash in, but they keep deciding to go apeshit and I don't know how to fix it. So if you see them like going crazy behind me, is out of my control. It has been a while since I last posted on this channel. I didn't intend for it to be this long. A while ago, I posted asking if there's anything you wanted to know in terms of a Q&A video, and something that did come up a couple times was about my filming setup, my equipment, my schedule, my filming routine, basically everything that goes into my videos. I know that there's some of you who are thinking of starting your own channel, so I hope that this information could be useful, or maybe you're just curious to know what goes on behind the scenes. Without further ado, let's get into it. So in the routine that I have been keeping recently, I'm filming 2 YouTube videos per week. So that means that I'm usually filming like 8 videos in a month, and then 2 of those are for Patreon, the rest go on YouTube. And sometimes I have 1 or 2 extra that I set aside in case I'm traveling or unable to film for whatever reason during a week. I will have a video to post. I also don't necessarily post the videos in the order that I film them. It's kind of weird, but sometimes I film a reading, but then I just feel like the timing isn't right yet, and I just kind of hold on to it until one day I'm like, yeah, it's time for this video to be posted. So a day of filming consists of shuffling the cards. If there's gonna be pre-shuffled oracle cards in the reading, I will pre-shuffle them. I will choose the crystals and tarot decks that are gonna be used. Sometimes if there's a lot that we're going through in the reading, especially if there's an extended reading, I'll like make out that list of everything that we're going to be covering. Then I do the intro first, so maybe that's obvious, but I film the intro and then edit the intro, and then I actually do the thumbnail before even like getting into the piles. Then I eat breakfast and then I get into filming the piles. So usually by this time it's like 11 or 12. I try to start earlier in the winter because the sun sets really early, especially here in Japan. Like in the winter, the sun is down by 4 p.m. and videos look shitty at night. So I try my best to film everything when it's still light out, but that doesn't always happen, especially in the winter. But 95% of the time, I do finish a reading in one day. In between filming piles, I charge the camera battery and import the file into the laptop. I like to kind of do, like, I think some people might do like all the filming and then all the editing, but my brain just doesn't like that. So I'm like, film and edit the intro, film and edit pile 1, film and edit pile 2, like that. There's usually not a lot of editing to do in the piles anyway, unless there's like some annoying noise that I want to cut out, or a really long pause, or sometimes I'll like say something and I'm like, oh, I don't like that wording, I'm gonna say it again. And during these breaks, I have been for the past year playing Merge Gardens, which is my favorite mobile game. It's just very like, it turns my brain off because filming the readings, you are like on for 30 minutes to an hour, however long my piles are, and then when I finish, I just like, I need my brain to not do anything for a while, so I just tend to my garden. I also snack quite a bit in between piles. I'll eat like nuts or like drink lattes and stuff. Oh, and for editing the piles, because I do not have time to rewatch the whole thing, so if there's a part that I'm like, okay, I want to edit this out, I'll just like stop talking for 20 seconds, because then when I'm looking at the waveform, the audio of the video, I see like, oh, there's a big patch with no sound here. That means there was something that I wanted to cut out. And then if I want to put a subtitle, like sometimes, for example, I'm like, oh, what is the significance of an ostrich as a spirit animal? I'm not sure. Or like, what is the year that this planet is going to be in this sign? I'm not sure, so I have to look that up. If I want to make a note to look something up, I just throw something on the floor, and then when I'm done filming, I'm like, okay, there's like 2 things on the floor. There's definitely an easier way to do this, but I'm on the spot, so I just like. So after that, then I will make a note of the starting time of each pile. I'm pretty particular about this. I try to make it as close to like the second as possible, like when the second changes, so that when you click on the timestamp, it goes right to like the hanging with me, and you don't, it's not like half a second late. I want it to be like on the thing. So I'm really like precise about that. And then once that is done, I do another check of the audio things. So I'll like zoom in a little bit on it and just like scroll through the whole thing. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I missed? And hopefully I haven't missed anything. And then once I'm pretty sure that she's good to go, then I export it, then I upload it, I come up with the title, I put the timestamps in the description, and then I also do a list of all of the decks that are in the video in order, and a list of all the jewelry I'm wearing, if it's something that you can get online. For listing the decks, I'm actually pretty good at remembering like the author's name of every deck. Obviously not all of them, but most of the time I can remember, so I'll just type it in. But for the ones that have links, like for example, if it's an affiliate link, or if someone sent me a deck, I will always include their link. For those, I have like a notes thing in my notes app with like all the decks, and then I just copy paste it. And then the next thing to do is place the ads. I have to place the ads manually because when you let YouTube do it, she is drunk and she puts like 50 ads in the first 5 minutes of the video and then none for the rest of it, and you just cannot trust her. So I do that manually, and I try my best to put them like during pauses so that it doesn't like disrupt the flow. So after all of that, that is a full day of work to film a video. The camera I use is, I always forget the number. So it's Sony Alpha 6400. This camera is actually quite pricey. I do not think you need a camera this expensive to film pick a card videos, but really the selling point for me for this camera is that it doesn't overheat, so you can just keep filming and filming. I think the longest pile I've ever filmed is maybe like 70 minutes. And when I first started, I was just using this little Casio digital camera, and she, God bless her, she would overheat so much, and it would just like, the camera would just shut off. And you could only film, like regardless of how much space is on the SD card, you could only film for 30 minutes at a time, and then it would stop, which it couldn't film for that much longer anyway because it would overheat. And so it just really was not, it was really not ideal, because when you're channeling, you're like in the zone and it's like flowing, and then I'd be like, oh crap, it overheated, I have to, and then you have to just like sit there and wait. And I don't know if this is advisable, but sometimes I would put my camera in the fridge. That's that Aries in me, being reckless with my possessions and being impatient. So I'd be like, get in there. And I would always have to have the AC blasting too so that it wouldn't overheat. Yeah, so when I got this new camera, that was like the biggest thing for me. Like, I don't want a limit to how long I film, and I don't want it to overheat. And I was willing to pay whatever. And I have to say, this camera is much, much better. And I just use the built-in microphone that is in the camera. I feel like it's pretty fine. I actually filmed with my iPhone when I was traveling. Some of you guys might know I recently went on like a month-long trip with ASO. I did bring my camera, but it broke. Like the lens wouldn't come out and it wouldn't focus. When I got back here, I had to send it to the maker and they fixed it. But while I was traveling, I borrowed ASOS, I don't know what you call it, but like the arm that attaches to the table and puts your phone there. I would borrow that and film on the iPhone. And honestly, I feel like visually the quality is not that different. I'm not very strong with visuals, so maybe people who have like keen eyes can tell, but I did notice that the microphone quality was not as good. Honestly, it's actually kind of easier to film with an iPhone because you don't have to like take out the card and put it in, you just airdrop it. I'm a laptop girly, so I'm not about to edit on the iPhone. I would airdrop it to the laptop. It was easier, but the sound just wasn't sounding, it wasn't giving. And I even bought like a microphone separately to record with the iPhone because I was like, let me just do this from now on. But it didn't sound as good, so back to the alpha. But yeah, like if you wanted to start a channel and you didn't have a camera, you could definitely use your smartphone. Smartphones are always getting like better and better quality, and my iPhone is not even the latest version, so I bet if you had a later version, it might sound better. I edit my videos in iMovie. What you can do in iMovie in terms of editing is pretty basic. However, because the genre of pick a card readings is minimal editing anyway, I find that it is perfectly fine to do what I need to do. In some instances, if there's some like brief titty in the video on a card, I'll censor those few seconds where it's visible, and for that, instead I use Filmora. And that's actually what I use to edit my travel vlogs because it has nicer subtitle options. That's really the only reason I use it. But it also has the blurring option, so it motion tracks whatever you need to censor, and then you can export it with the blurry part. I also use it on my boyfriend's face. Both of those softwares are super intuitive. Like, I personally didn't really need to watch a tutorial about them or anything, whereas like Final Cut for some reason just, and yeah, iMovie's free if you have a MacBook. Filmora, there is a free version, but I think it's like there's a watermark or something if you use the free version, but the paid version is not that much. For thumbnails, I use Canva, which I think a lot of people do. Canva as well, there is a free version and the paid version. I personally have the paid version just because there's a lot more fonts that you can use, but I did use the free version for a long time, and you can definitely do everything you need to do to make an attractive thumbnail with the free version. And then for music, which I would only really put music in my video if there was like a sponsored portion at the beginning. And then of course I put music in my travel videos. For that I use Thematic, which is like you pay, it's like $10 or less per month. And then you can use like a huge catalog of royalty-free music. You get a license and you just have to put the license link in the description, so it's quite easy. So this is my filming desk. I have briefly showed it in a video before, but I'll go a little more into the details. So I filmed the videos upside down basically because the camera is here and then I like tilt it down like that. So the top of the camera is like there and the bottom is there. So it's like filming it upside down, and then I just flip it over in editing later. There's an overhead light on right now, like the apartment light. That's why there's these weird shadows. I would usually turn these off when I'm filming because obviously I don't want those shadows. This is the ring light that I use. You can adjust, like one of the knobs is warm light and one of the knobs is cool light. I also have this one. This one usually, let me turn off these freaking, this one usually just comes out when the sun goes down and it's getting a little dark and we need some backup. And this is actually a USB thing. So I plug it in like this to my laptop and then turn it on like that. And then this thing is for my iPhone. I've been using this to film for Instagram, but you could get this if you're gonna be filming videos with your iPhone. It like clamps it here, and then you can adjust the height and the angle and stuff, and it clamps to the table here. And yeah, this is my setup. I'm gonna be filming the video for January 2024 predictions. This is my little pyrite cat, which I got to commemorate Baffy. These are my Astro Dice. I have 3 sets of them. I've been enjoying using these in readings. I'm probably going to use them more often. We have a bunch of crystals here. They're kind of organized. These are all hearts. These are other shapes. These are like the clustery looking ones. And then this is just miscellaneous. I have some decks under here. So on this shelf, this is where I put decks that I want to use in an upcoming video. Like if I'm feeling called to, okay, we're gonna use this one soon, I'll just place it over here. And then I have a little bit of a color-coded thing going on. I was inspired by ASO to do this because when I went to her house, she had like all of her crystals laid out on this big table and it was like all color-coded and it was like the most satisfying thing I'd ever seen. So this is what I have with my little shelf. Just towers and palm stones over here. And then I have more miscellaneous rocks on these shelves. And then I have all of these decks too. Honestly, decks are just taking over my house. I used to have other things on this shelf, like stuff for my plants and like, what is it called? Utensils and dishware and stuff like that. But there was no room for them here anymore. And then all of my candles are up here. And some shot glasses. This is a poster that my sister's boyfriend made for me. It's the chariot, but with our cats. That's Baffy and Jasper, who unfortunately passed away recently. And then at the top, that is Tina. I have some stuff in here too. We are in my closet. So this is all my nail stuff. I am a press-on nail girly now. I don't do gel nails anymore because they destroyed my nails. In here, I have a bunch of different nail sets. I keep a lot because like depending on how I feel, I might want to wear a certain set. So I like to have options. But honestly, I think I'm wearing them less and less. Like maybe you've noticed that my natural nails have been appearing more in videos. Honestly, I freaking love having natural nails. It's so nice to be able to, like, I underestimate how good it feels to have like surfaces touching this part of my fingers. It just, I don't know, it feels really good and so easy to like tie shoelaces and open cans and playing the piano. That's the most important thing because it's really hard to play piano with nails on. But yeah, with press-on nails, it's awesome because like I could just throw them on for a video for the aesthetic and then take them off when I'm done and go about my life. Then in here, I have, these are some like special occasion items that I would use for holidays. So like I have some Christmas themed things. I might do like a pick an ornament in December. I have these Easter eggs, like I did a pick an egg video once. So any kind of like non-crystal kind of novelty thing I have in here. Then in here, these are all, I think these are like traits for when you're doing like a who is your person reading. These are all traits. One day I just went bonkers and I made a bunch of them. And yeah, like just random shit. Like that could mean many different things depending on the reading, right? But I think these are like traits that your person can have. Like, yeah, here we have Year of the Rabbit. So yeah, just stuff like that. I used to keep these in my salad spinner, but then I found a proper place for them. I also got this, it's like a tablecloth and it has the major arcana. Wait, let me lay it out nicely. It has the zodiac wheel on it as well as the major arcana. I used this when I was traveling because the table in the hotel room was like really weird and like the surface was reflective, so I put this on top and I thought it looked pretty cute, honestly. Let me know if you guys like this. I might bring her out for future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you if you are wanting to start your own channel, or maybe you already have a channel, or maybe it was just entertaining to listen to. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your support and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!